Let's get it. Let's get it. I wasn't going to say anything about this. I was really going to hold my peace because it's like, well, who am I? I'm just a little voice. I got like 200 something followers and ain't nobody really paying attention to me. But as a Christian, man, I just wanted to speak my piece like anybody else. But before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like or subscribe button, follow, check me out on all the platforms, um, right standing. And I'm trying to get my subs up to 1,000. So if you can help me out with that, that would be well appreciated. Now let's get back into it. So let's talk about the versus battle. Such a big deal. New Orleans, Cash Money, No Limit Records versus battle. Now, I was young. I was part of that age, that day and age of bout it, and the Tank Dogs and all that other good stuff that was good to me back in the day. Um, when I heard about it, I was like, man, that's going to be a good battle because I always knew it was like a little rift between the two. And I was like, I think I want to see this. Yeah, I said that. So I tuned in. And I'm not going to lie, my life kind of really changed a little bit when it comes to secular and worldly music. During that time, around that time, was when I converted myself over to Christian hip hop and spoken word poetry because it was almost like this is not for me. God was like really working on my spirit at that point in time. And a lot of the music that I was converting from, I mean, the transition wasn't overnight. I'm not going to lie about that. A lot of music that I was converting from, I still would listen to the radio versions because I moved from transition of lyrics to cleaner lyrics. And then all of a sudden it was, let me move a lot of this out completely. And now I'm at the point that when I hear stuff, I don't really regard it at all. Sometimes I have it on just in the background because I'm in the car and I need something and whatever. I'm not making any excuses. I'm just saying. So when the verses started, I was like, oh yeah, they playing the hits. Then I actually heard the lyrics. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on now. Because like I said, I was making a transition, so I was kind of accustomed to listening to the radio versions of the stuff. So I didn't really actually hear the album versions because I stopped buying the CDs and the albums that had the profanity on it. So when I heard it, I was like, for whatever reason, in my mind, in my spirit, heart, whatever you want to say, it was like the lyrics was overriding the music to me, the grooves to me. So at one point in time, I cut it off. Curiosity made me come back in with it because I was like, I want to know if they're going. I want to see how they're gonna perform this song. I kind of wanted to see how they was going to compete against each other, just because I was curious like that. Then me and X star rapping, and when she rapped, she was kind of raunchy with she was raunchy with what she was saying. So again, I cut it off. Curiosity made me cut it back on because it was like I wanted to see what was happening, to know what was happening. I wasn't really vibing with what was happening, but it's almost like this is like a historical moment. You want to just be involved with it, be a part of it, or whatever else. So I cut it back on. I finally cut it back off again. So I literally probably watched maybe like 3 songs. But it bothered me to the point that after it was over with, I got back on YouTube to watch it, but not watch it in its entirety, but to just kind of skim through, just to see which songs was they performing and which songs matched with which songs in the competition and everything else. wondering if I couldn't remember. One of my favorite rappers was Mystical. I don't know if he's in jail now or whatever else, but I was wondering if he was coming out, and if Lil Wayne was going to show up, just for the drama and the excitement of it all. Well, anyway, it was kind of lackluster. Some things, when I saw Master P, he always had his stuff organized, so I knew he was kind of ready to get Rumble and everything else, so it was going to be good regardless. But here's the part that I didn't like, and mind you, my opinion is my opinion. Nobody has to even honor it or whatever else. But the problem I had is the reunion. Mind you, if anybody knows me, I speak from a spiritual aspect. So, yes, I'm going to say it this way. The devil was busy again, and he's very tricky. Think about this for a second. Reunion. That's reuniting something that you've been a part of from a while ago. Me, I got reunited. No Limit got reunited. Cash Money members got reunited. New Orleans got reunited. The crowd that was there got reunited. What did we get reunited with? Lyrics, household names, what do you call them? Celebrity figures, songs, nostalgia, all the above. The problem is when we deal with what I deal with as Christianity, there's a verse that talks about a dog returning to his vomit. My understanding translation of that would be when something comes out of you, sometimes it violently comes out of you, sometimes it forcefully comes out of you, sometimes it just doesn't sit well in you, so it can't stay in you, so it has to come out of you. People of God, when I said that I went through a transition period of trying to get rid of this negative rap, because I used to rap negative as well. I never got too far with it because my family raised me a certain way, and I was a little embarrassed to do what I wanted to do, and I didn't want them to know I was doing it. So it was almost like I had to just kind of do things on the low, but then, I really didn't want to perform certain things public. It was cool because I was good at it and everything else, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So mind you, when I watched some of this stuff, I got reunited with the old lyrics and the old visuals and stuff that, the Lord have me separating from. And just the fact that I was sitting there watching it, it was almost like, why did I go back to that? That kind of stuff shouldn't have no importance in my life. It really shouldn't, because it's supposed to be the things that I walked away from. That's why I say the devil's busy, because he's very crafty and creative into trying to draw us back into the things that we separated from. My biggest pet peeve out of this whole thing, if you want to call it that, was Master P. I don't know if any of you guys remember, and I'm going to read this. Back in 2007, Master P announced his commitment to producing cleaner, more positive music. Acknowledging that he was once part of the problem, his decision was influenced by his children and a desire to be a positive role model, transitioning his focus from glorifying gangster life towards a more socially conscious approach. His personal growth, becoming a father, inspired Master P to make a change. I was once part of the problem. I want to be a part of the solution. He felt it was his responsibility as a parent to lead by example and set a better standard for the next generation. And I believe, according to what's been in the public, that he was doing a great job of it. But to do a versus, when you're a older established artist that got your catalog out, if you're going to do a versus battle, you got to battle with your old catalog. Nobody's equated with the new songs because he's dated and he's out of date. But those that's my age and around my age, we remember the Bout It's. And I'm focusing on Master P, not Cash Money, because, or whatever it is, Birdman's group, because it was something about Master P that said, I want to make a change and be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Well, to do a versus, you have to reunite with a lot of things. You got to reunite with the people that you were with at that time, the influences that you were with at that time. And not just that, you got to reunite with the songs that you created at that time and performed, and the lyrics that you created at that time. Let me pause this. Sorry, my phone rang. But here's the thing. You got to reunite yourself with what you left behind. And mind you, he had chosen to leave these things behind. And this is how the devil is trickery. I don't know whether it was the money, the nostalgia, the money that said, hey, bring it all back together. We paying you for one night to do this reunion thing, or just the thrill of saying I'm back on stage and everybody's gonna be cheering for me or whatever else. But the first thing that happened that I saw, that what happened, I can't even say it right. The problem is, the minute he started rapping, he went back to the old Master P. Which means that everything that he stood for just went out the door. Because he went back saying and doing the exact same thing that he said he was walking away from on that stage to battle. There was one person that I seen do things differently. Salt, from Salt and Pepper. She said God changed her life. And when she said God changed her life, she meant it. So guess what? When they had her on whatever, the BET Awards or reunion tour or whatever else, you know what she did? She changed her lyrics to fit her lifestyle. She compromised what everybody knew her from, the certain words, whatever else, but she changed those words to say, this is how I got to rap this stuff now, because I'm a different person. I was watching how Baby dissed, not Baby, Birdman. They call him Baby too, I don't know. He dissed Young Turk, one of the people that was part of his rap group. Young Turk responded. Young Turk was talking about, people need to grow up. He ain't the same since God changed his life and everything else. And I was like, oh man, he became a Christian. Well, praise the Lord and everything else. And next thing you know, he was like, y'all can't me. And I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. What did God change? Did he change your language, your behavior? Or did, he just save you from prison or something like that and got you out of prison? So that's your change of life. Because he was talking about, let's stop giving mixed messages. And it's almost like, well, you're giving a mixed message, because the minute y'all start bringing in God, you got to start bringing in certain kind of behaviors. Now, I know anybody can slip up and cuss. I've done it. Anything. Or you get so angry that excuse me. I say it all the time. I might, not all the time because I don't do it all the time, but sometimes if I slip up and even say a easy cuss word, I'd be like, oh, excuse me, I got a little carried away or whatever else, because I'm aware of who I am and who I'm supposed to be and the goal that I'm trying to be in life according to his riches and glory. But I've seen Salt do it, and I was very proud of her. I don't see too many people that say my life has changed and don't have a conviction about going backwards to what their life changed from. I have a conviction of going backwards. I can't make certain songs no more. Sometimes I'll be saying to myself, man, if I could make a song like that, I would blow up, because I know how to do it. But it's not the kind of person that I'm supposed to be anymore. So some of that stuff that came out of me, I got to leave it behind and can't keep going back to it. honestly, I was wrong for even watching the versus battle because that's something that should be out of me completely. Well, it's not out of me completely. It's still lingering around as much as I fight against it. But if my fight is right, I should be able to say that's my past history. I'm walking in a new life. Now, Master P, I thought he said it was something about God that changed his life, or maybe it's just his morality. But even if it was God, then I would really be kind of upset. I don't really know if God changed his life or whatever else, because you just can't get up there and just say whatever you want to say and do whatever you want to do and still claim that God changed your life. Like Mace, I know, and never mind. I'm not even going to talk about him right now because I don't know all the details, but I do know he was Pastor Mason Bethel, and now it is what it is, and he's very mature and everything else, but he's still doing a couple of things just publicly that you're not supposed to be doing when you're claiming a certain lifestyle. But I'll leave that part alone because I can't even match up to what he can say or respond to or whatever else. Our main thing is we kind of got to guard ourselves and make sure we're doing right, because just as you point fingers to other people, you point them back. But in the same aspect, when you're trying to walk in a new life, there's just certain things that you got to try not to do publicly. So when you up there talking about this and that, I don't even want to say it myself, but talking about women and anatomies and all this other stuff and drugs and gangs and all this other stuff publicly on stage, nostalgia wise, you don't went back to the same person you're supposed to walk away from. And I don't care if you walked away from it for 20 years. It's like a addict. You walk away from something and say, I've been clean for 30 years, and you turn around and have a drink, you ain't clean no more. You got to start that thing over again. And the same mission that you was trying to fulfill from a point of view of being a role model and positive for the kids and everything else, you just threw that away. Hold on, there's my phone again. So yeah, I don't really know what the solution is. If there is a solution, I mean, from a human point of view, we make mistakes. Sometimes we don't think about all the actions that we do and the consequences. But this is for anybody that's trying to be an example to others, including myself, because I make mistakes too. And certain things, mistakes, I try to, things that I'm probably not supposed to do. I don't really broadcast them. I don't really bring them out to the public or whatever else, unless I'm trying to be transparent and showing by example that we all trying to make it. But I will say this, and this is not to Master P, but it's about the Master P situation and anybody else that's in that kind of a similar situation. It's the same as what us Christians say. It's called a process of killing your witness. And it's like, if you're standing against something and then somebody can see you being hypocritical and standing for that same thing that you pronouncing that you're standing against, then as a witness to that thing that you're supposed to be standing against, we don't believe you anymore. And therefore it's like, because it's almost like, yeah, you're good for a moment, but then what would make you change? Either it never left you, or it was something that the devil dangled in front of you to make you go back, or you never left to begin with. Because I can honestly say, if I was in that situation, I would have had to change my lyrics, or I might not even agree to do a versus battle because of the fact that I would say, hey, I decided, this is 7th. I decided almost 20 years ago that I was going to be a different person and a positive person and a role model. So all that gangster rap and all that dope selling and all them lyrics about what I'm doing to women and what they're doing to me and all that other stuff and the stuff that I promoted, I can't be a part of no more. So that's my legacy. but I can't look back and rejoin that legacy, reunite with that legacy. So the versus battle probably wouldn't even been able to take place, but it did. So here's a plea to everybody: understand that we fall down, but we can get up. We make mistakes, and we can't always make that mistake right, but what we can do is move forward in life and try not to make the same mistake again. Master P, go back to being the role model that you are. Leave this no limits past behind you and move forward, and continue to move forward in a more positive way. Don't let this setback mess with you, because I'm sure that if you were sincere about that, then you thought about this later on that night and was like, yeah, No Limit got the victory, but I messed up. And therefore, I need to make a change, or recommit myself to the change that I said I was making in 2007 and get back on that track. All right, that's all I got to say. It's just me. Right standing. Peace.